FYF Sports Medicine, we back with another podcast episode, man. Today we got a special episode for you guys, man. Definitely a reaction video. I watched this entire interview. I actually liked it, man. I think the guys on the show did a good job of asking Cari Champion a lot of tough questions about her career, different elements of sports, different moments in sports. But there was one particular aspect of this interview that I want to highlight, that I wished the guys would have been, I would say, maybe more aggressive in their line of questioning as far as just calling out the cap, because I thought there was one specific segment where there was just too much cap going on, and I don't know if they did enough to combat it. Which is, again, I understand with this type of show, with the platform, you have a special guest on the show. You really don't want to bash or nothing like that. But I definitely want to highlight this segment of the show for you guys, because I think it's really important that we discuss it. But before we get started, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you haven't done so already. We are grinding to 40K subscribers, soon to be 50K. Hopefully by the year 100K. Y'all know what time it is, man. FYF Sports, man, we doing it like no other, man. The reactions are back, so we're going to be coming with a lot of reaction videos over the next couple of weeks. We're going to be covering the big threes. You guys know the big three started, man. A lot of big names in the big three. And if you can see, if you watch the trend, it's actually the Drew League's going on as well. But if you look at some of the top names that usually play in the Drew League, they are now transitioning over to the big three. It's a bigger stage. All right, more eyes are over there. I was just in one of the big threes live streams, 17,000 people watching. I mean, salute to the big three, man. But we got to stay on topic right here. For this video right here, remember, I Am Athlete podcast. They had Cari Champion on the show. I'm going to just let it play. I want you guys to hear what she said. And then I'm just going to give you my thoughts on it. I want you guys to also, in the comments, however you're watching this video, I want you to give your thoughts as well. And look, if you completely disagree with my take, if you're a woman, one of our women viewers, and you disagree with my take, that's perfectly fine. I want to get your thoughts and opinions as well. But man, I think this portion of the video is one of the most detrimental things when you talk about black athletes, black entertainers, black entrepreneurs, things like that. I think this is one of the most detrimental statements. Right, because it lets a lot of people off the hook when they say things like this. But let's go ahead. I'm going to play the video. You guys let me know if you think it's cap or not. I'll give you my opinions on it after we play the clip.
Asking you. You said black women appear more aggressive, but it's because of our circumstance. But because y'all don't even take that into consideration, we just angry. So then we stay angry, right? And we don't even know we angry. We don't even know we mad. We don't even know we pissed off. We like, wait, I'm just trying to take care of the bills. I'm just trying to take care of myself. I don't have nobody else to do it, because I don't have a daddy with a trust fund 9 times out of 10. I got to have 10 jobs. I had 8 jobs in college. I was a full, I was always working. School was secondary. The thing is that that's where we stay. And then when we finally get to a moment to chill out, we like, oh.
You better not, boy.
Yeah.
Please.
So, I want to be very careful here, because y'all, you think you.
I'm not, what are you, Brandon?
So I want to reset the conversation, and because I want to join. I want to give my opinion.
Okay, reset.
Awesome. So what are we trying to accomplish? What are you asking right now?
I'm talking about this back and forth between black men and black women that I don't like. Black men consistently criticizing black women, and black women consistently criticizing black men. I don't like it.
You just agreed to it, though.
I do, but I don't like it.
Why is that even a conversation?
Because that's what's happening in the world today. I think that with the advent, may he, rest in peace and whatever you feel about him, Kevin Samuels, who he made a whole living off of going hard on us. He made a living.
Did you tune in? Did you listen?
I never, because I wouldn't let that get in my spirit. But my point is, he had a lot of men that I know and respect were following him and listening to him. Women I know who were dating people were like, oh, Kevin Samuels told him to do this. Like, he was somebody's God. And they were taking that advice and using it in real life. And that just wasn't realistic. And I'm like, why are we beefing with each other? Why do we have such negative images of each other? That's what I don't understand. So I want to see you and be like, I'm happy to know that you are who you are. and I'm happy to watch you grow. I'm happy to watch you grow. I know that with enough experience that everything that people wrote about you and said about you wasn't true. Like, we can seek that. Black women can see that. And we give y'all that grace. Can y'all give us that grace?
That's love. Oh, wow. Listen, woo. We got to...
Now, that was just a kind of a lot. She kind of touched on a number of different things right there. And as you guys heard, Cari Champion started this by basically alluding to the fact that Black women are angry because they have it so hard. She talked about how they don't have these trust funds and so what she's trying to do to me is she's trying to give, because right before this segment, all of the guys were alluding to Black women being just so angry, not understanding where the anger is coming from, why they so upset. And she's trying to give this explanation and excuse as to why they're angry. And so she runs down this BS list of odd things, which I just call life, and says, because of X, Y, and Z, this is why we're angry. This is why we spaz out. This is why we act the way we do. This is why we allow boisterous, and you guys know what I'm referring to. Everything that Cari Champion just explained, y'all, is called life. And it's what most poor people or lower middle class people, even some upper middle class people, white or black, go through. Especially Black men. Probably even more so. There is no extra struggle. And this is where I call the cap. This is where I'm calling the cap. There is no extra struggle for Black women because they're women. That's just life. The one thing that, when you look at some of the podcasts, like Fresh and Fit podcasts and even Kevin Samuels. All right, so when you watch some of these podcasts and you listen to what, she mentioned Kevin Samuels. She said she didn't listen to him. She didn't like his message, but she doesn't listen to him. That right there is a very odd connection. The only way you can not consider his message, or if you can only not agree with his message if you actually listen to him. So you have to discern and take some of the things. So right there, that statement about Kevin Samuels was illogical, but I'll even just digress from that alone. The things that she broke down, which alluded to, and I call them excuses as to why Black women are angry or seem so angry at the world. She just said life stuff. Working 8 jobs. Well, that's fine. That's a lot of poor college students. They have to work extra jobs, odd jobs. I know when I was at Purdue University, that the big thing to do for a lot of the broke college students was go down and donate plasma. I mean, there were so many things that you had to will and do to try to get extra money as a college student. That's the life of a broke, poor college student, just skating by on Pell Grants, Stafford loans, and maybe a few small scholarships that you get from being an in-state student, sometimes an out-of-state student. It doesn't make it harder. Being a Black woman, it doesn't make it more or less harder. I think that's a cop-out for just stupid behavior. They called out. She had an opportunity right there to just be like, just lack discipline. That's it. Lack discipline sometimes. Bad upbringings. That's what I believe it all goes back to. And one thing I hate is the excuses where people try to blame their actions, the things that they do wrong, on society. Society is what it is. This society that we live in, America, it's a capitalistic society it was never designed to be fair. It was designed to pit the wealthy versus the poor. That's how this system was designed. It was designed to pit the wealthy versus the poor. So if you're poor, everything that she described is going to be something a hardship that you're going to have to endure until you can maybe get to the other side of the spectrum, which is being wealthy. Outside of that, especially black men, if you talk about black men having to grind, right? If you talk about black men, the perception of black men in Chicago, if you're a black man in Chicago, do you know how hard it is to get a job? The perception alone, the stigma alone, just being black in Chicago is going to put you in a bad predicament just on getting a job alone. That's not the case for black women in Chicago. I hate the excuses, right? I mean, I could show you guys. Actually, I was actually on another website, and I was watching some funny videos, and I came across a couple videos that kind of highlighted this anger that these athletes were alluding to. And it all comes from just poor decision making, stupidity, and that's it. It doesn't come from how hard it was growing up and all this. There's nothing extra that they're dealing with, to me, in my eyes, that most people struggling to try to come up, most people struggling to either build their brand, build their careers, they all have to go through the same trials and tribulations. I don't know what additional trials and tribulations that she, as a black woman, felt she went through that black men didn't experience 10 times worse. Look, check these videos out. You guys, let me know your thoughts on these videos right now. All right, you guys, we got an example right here. The anger, y'all see the craziness, the ratchetness, the goofiness. This anger is stemming from, you guys. This anger that you see right here stems from being overcharged on their bill, $1.75. That's the anger. So the anger, obviously, the server, the cashier, whoever messed up their order, overcharged them $1.75. And so, because of all the societal pressures and anger and things that are against them, this is acting out. This is, according to Cari Champion, according to Cari Champion, this is justified because they're justifiably angry. They grew up with all the odds against them. Poor. Pops didn't have a trust fund. Nothing was easy. Had to work a whole bunch of jobs. So when somebody overcharges you $1.75 on your bill, this is how you act out, according to Cari Champion. This is justified. See, because they asked a viable question about the anger to answer for things like this, when things like this happen. And her excuse was society, life. Life did this. Life caused this. Do y'all agree? Another video. Old granny Gran got caught stealing. Got caught stealing at CVS. Look at the reaction. The anger.
Bitch, try bitch. Bitch, I swear to God, bitch. If you ever touch me again, bitch, I swear to God, I'm pressing full charges on you, bitch. You, bitch. Full charges.
Hey, society caused that anger. Life caused that anger. All the odds being stacked against Granny Gran in this video. This is why she acting out in anger. This is why she reacting out in a fit of rage, y'all. According to Cari Champion, this is excused. Right? It's okay to excuse the stealing. It's okay to excuse the behavior. And look, you guys, it's multiple examples of what I just showed. I'm not trying to single out black women. I'm not trying to sound like I don't believe Kevin Samuels was actually even targeting black women. His channel was never for black women. It was never about them. It was a men's show for men, advice for men, harsh advice for men. And because over the pandemic, women didn't have anything better to tune into, they tuned into his show and then asked him for his advice. And he just started giving it. He was never bashing. So then again, another irresponsible statement by actually saying that Kevin Samuels is telling men to do X, Y, and Z. But you don't know what his actual message was. you only hearing things from your other possibly girlfriends. So again, as somebody who's supposed to be a well-versed, experienced reporter, mindful of the things that they say of other people, especially somebody that's passed, again, you spoke on Kevin Samuels and you completely trembled all over what his platform was about simply because your girlfriends told you wrong. That's another thing right there. But you know what? But that anger towards Kevin Samuels, according to Cari Champion, you guys, that anger is justified. Remember, she's asking these guys, look, deal with the anger, y'all. Just deal with it. We had it hard in life. It's hard on us. It's harder on men. It's much harder on men. Men get nothing free in life. Right? Poor men, poor black men are the ones that get locked up when they can't pay child support. The women who can't pay child support get assistance from the state. It's much harder on men out here. Men get nothing free. Women are more likely to get the free handouts, especially black women are more likely to get the free handouts before a black man does. So that one thing, and I even commented on this video and I said that what she said right there, that part, this was a great interview. That segment right there was complete cap. It was complete cap on a multitude of levels. And again, I saw Brandon Marshall trying to quell it, put out the fire before it evolved into something bigger than what they probably wanted it to be. But what she said was all cap and just a bunch of excuses for illogical, stupid behavior, right? And not taking accountability for your own actions and the things that you say and do. Those women that tore up that restaurant over being overcharged $1.75. Luckily, it was recorded. They're going to have to be held accountable. And if they get arrested and they have to go in front of a judge, they're not going to be able to give the judge a sob story talking about they've had it hard in life. That ain't going to fly. Just like men have to wake up and take accountability every single day, right? Brandon Marshall, throughout his football career, had to take accountability. In this interview, they actually also mentioned Ray Rice. Ray Rice had to take accountability. It cost him his whole football career, but he took accountability. The men deal with this at a much higher degree. And it's not even comparable. But the one thing that you don't hear, and the one thing that I appreciate the most about this, is the one thing that you don't hear black men doing is overwhelmingly not complaining about them circumstances. And they don't use those types of circumstances. I've yet to hear on my channel when we have any of these conversations, a black man come in and say, well, I had it hard in life. My dad didn't have a trust fund, so it was so hard. Who says stuff like that? So again, Cari Champion, man, no longer with ESPN. She was fired, you guys. She was fired from ESPN for whatever reason. I think she gave her explanation for it. She said she was, she gave pushback to a lot of the management, some of her bosses. When she didn't like something, she made her voice heard. And I think she said it ultimately compiled into something where they no longer wanted her services at ESPN. She's moved on to other things. I don't want to say that they're bigger and better. She's kind of disappeared from the scene since leaving ESPN. Similar to Maria Taylor, we don't know where she is. I think the last time we saw her, she might have been in Kazakhstan, hosting the Winter Olympics. I don't know where she's at, but again, salute to Cari Champion. But again, this segment was capped. This particular segment was capped. I did appreciate some of the things that she said about LeBron James and the criticism that he receives in the media. She talked about how he was unfairly judged by the media. I did agree with a lot of the things that she said, but this particular segment, I think, was impactful, and it could have been one of the most informative parts of this video had she not decided to use it to cop one of the biggest excuses that I've seen for the actions of not just herself, but just the anger that these men described seeing from black women. And she could not give a viable answer. She couldn't be real. She couldn't be honest about it. She just gave a lot of cap. And, here at FYF Sports, we have to call it down the middle. And I think, again, and a lot of people might disagree with me as well, but I think it was cap. I 100% think it was cap. But you guys, let me know your thoughts on this, man. Let me know your thoughts about I Am Athlete, man. Do you guys watch the podcast? Do you guys check them out? I love this show whenever they drop shows, man. The interviews, almost kind of addictive to watch their shows, man, because they dive deep and they ask some of the toughest questions to some of these athletes and entertainers that they bring on. And it really kind of joggles their mind, makes them think. And Brandon Marshall does an excellent job of that in his line of questioning. We saw Nick Young on here as well. So, again, salute to these guys, man. Great show. Salute to Cari Champion for coming on, giving her take on all of these things. You guys, if you haven't watched the original video, I'll put the link to the original video in the description so you guys can go check it out. But, again, this is my thoughts on it. You guys hit the comments. Let me know what you think. But, hey, it's FYF Sports, man. It's another reaction video. Again, we're going to be dropping videos probably almost daily from here on out, man. It's so much going on with the channel, man. We got the Spotify up and running. Salute to Abel Mahari. He's jumping in on that Spotify podcast with us to help give you guys content from that angle as well. Man, we're going to be having a live stream still. We got our other channel. Whatever happened to the news, hopefully we can get that monetized over the next couple of days. So we got so many things going on over here at FYF Sports, man. Just doing our best to grow the platform. The NBA Finals and some of the feedback and some of the viewership, the new subscribers that we got throughout the NBA Finals was ridiculous. I mean, with some of those videos getting close to 180,000 views, man. And you guys have been subscribing, man. I'm talking about since the NBA Finals started, I'm talking about we're averaging about 2K subscribers over that 2-month period each month. So, I mean, the numbers are through the roof. We got to continue that growth, right? We got to have that sustainability, man. We got to keep pushing, dropping that content. And then just, throughout the process, man, just giving our honest take and perspective on some of the hottest topics in sports. I mean, whether people agree or disagree. Similar to how we have here with Carrie Champion. But salute to you guys, man. FYF Sports, man, another great podcast episode. We will be back with more sports and news. But until then, it's FYF Sports. And we out.